Well, hi guys, and welcome back to the garage. It's been a while since we've been in here, and a new year, it's into January now. I hope you've been, I don't know if you've been following the channel, have you been watching the Gran Canaria series? Because that was, well, some of the best videos I've ever made, I think. I'm really delighted with how those videos turned out. And the trip itself, amazing. If you want to have some winter fun on a bike, head out to Gran Canaria. You'll absolutely love it. It's superb. Anyway, today I'm going to do a wee bit more maintenance on the bike. The wee Enfield here has been a bit neglected over the last wee while. It's not really been out for a wee while either. I've been busy servicing the Bonneville's fully serviced, it's ready to roll this year. I've been serviced the Tiger, it's ready to roll as well. It's ready to roll, it's got nice brand new Road 6 tyres on it, so I'm quite happy to see. I'm looking forward to seeing how well they'll perform, so they should be really good. So now it's the wee Enfield's turn. It's been kind of overdue a service, but it's not really been getting used much. So what I'm going to do, I've already made a video of changing the oil and stuff, so I'm not going to go over that ground. But what I'm going to do today for this video is basically removing the seat, removing the tank, and doing the valve clearances. That was what this subject of this video is going to be about. So yeah, just setting the tappets on the wee bike. So we'll go about actually doing that job. The first job is to basically take this seat off. To do that is a 10mm, couple of wee bolts under here, a couple of 10mm bolts. You just whip them out. Sharp-eyed amongst you'll notice I haven't got the chrome springs on at the moment. That's because the bike's in its winter mode. Yeah, anything that could potentially get corroded or rusty or anything, not that this bike ever gets rusty, but yeah, I keep all the blingy bits off. I put them back on in the better weather. That bolt out as well. The sharp-eyed amongst you will also notice I've been using the DJI cameras in here as well. So I've got around with two cameras. I've got one up in the tripod that'll be filming me, and I've also got one up here as well. So I can actually have two hands to work. This is the first time I've tried this, so I'm hoping this will give some even better videos. So that's the two screws from either side. The seat just lifts off from that point now. That's the seat away. The next part is to remove the bolt here that holds the petrol tank in place. And that's a 10mm nut on one side and an 8mm, no it's not 8mm, that's a 9, it's the wrong spanner. Silly boy. Yeah, it's an 8mm. Nut and bolt off, and that's the back end of the tank. That's all that really holds the tank on, is that secure mounting here, and there's two lugs at the front of the tank. So at this point the tank can lift up a bit. It's actually not very good having the handlebars moving like that. Would have it as well. Let's put a bit of a towel on the front there just to stop the tank potentially getting damaged. So I basically put it down so that the steering the tank won't get damaged in any way. So I tend to lift the tank up at this point here, and I just bung a wee socket in there just to hold it up into position. And up underneath the tank, what you can see is that black wee rubber electrical connection in here. Get that off, so pull the wee rubber cover down from it, and you can see the electrical connection, and there's a wee bit you can press in with your finger. So that is now the electrical connection disconnected. And a wee trick is actually to make it easier to undo the fuel supply pipe, because that can be under pressure, and you want to relieve that pressure because it makes it easier to come off. And the way to do that is to basically turn the ignition on at this point, and just try and start the engine. It won't start, and because you've disconnected the electrical plug, that's just disconnected the power supply to the petrol gauge sensor, and also to the fuel pump, which is inside the tank. So if you try and start it now, I mean, the bike won't start, that's okay. But what that has done is it's relieved any pressure in that high pressure hose. So on the hose itself, there's two wee indentations that you have to press in with your fingers. And what I've found is once you press them in, and if you actually press the two indentations, but push the pipe towards the tank first and then pull it back, it should release. It can be a bit awkward. That's it. As you can see, that's it now coming off. And again, what I was talking about is there's two wee spring clips there on either side. It's a case of pressing them in, holding it in, and push the bit in towards the tank first, and then it comes off. There's two vent pipes up under the tank. They're two different sizes. There's one a bit thicker than the other, so potentially you can't put them on the wrong way. So if you look up under the tank you can see the two vent pipes coming out the bottom. That's the two. You've got to put your hands in there and disconnect. It's going to be very difficult to film, so I'll just disconnect them off camera. Yeah, that's the two of them just now disconnected. So I can hold it at the back, hold it at the front, and just slide the tank away. That's the three parts here. That is the electrical connector here that we disconnected. That's the fuel line here, and there's the two vent pipes. As you can see, they're actually both different diameters. There's a wee small diameter bore here and a thick bore here. The hardest part of the job is getting the fuel line disconnected, to be honest. So what we've got to do now is to get the cam cover off, to get access to the two valve tappet adjusters. As you can see, there's not a lot of clearance in here. So to actually gain some clearance, we're going to have to remove a couple of bits. Again, there's a couple of 10mm bolts in here that hold this plate on. And that's the ones we want to take off. This top one. Yeah, you can feel the plate going loose now. So there's a unit that I've unplugged. I think that one goes to the CO2 sensor, I think. On this side there's another connection on here. So so that one's another wee connection down here. I've disconnect this one here. So there's a few electrical connectors to come off, and the last one that's actually holding it is still that one wee third bolt as well. So there's a few electrical connectors, and you can't go wrong. There's 3 electrical connectors that I've taken off. This is just purely to give you more access to the valves and make the job so much easier. Right, that's it. So that's those 3 nuts off. And they hold the coil in place. So basically that's it. That's what came off. That's the whole coil. So there was the 3 bolts that held it on. It was bolts that were holding it on to the top frame. The back one had an earth connection onto it. This one was purely an earth connection. These lugs hold on the electrical connectors. So there's 3 electrical connectors, one there, and one here, and one there. And they're all different, so you can't go wrong. And that just takes the whole coil unit off the bike. The only last bit now, because there's quite a lot of space up here now, is this wee bit in here, which is a wee bit tight. Just take this nut here, slacken that nut here off. Just take that nut away. And that unit there will come up out of the way as well. To keep this out of the way, I've just got a cable tie here. Just stick it underneath, just to, partly to make it clearer for the video, so it's not in the way. As you can see, we can now got clear access to the top of the cam cover, cam box. And this holds on by 3 10mm bolts. And that's what we've got to remove now. Slacken them off evenly. Again, when you take these off, just take note, because when they come off, there's actually, there's wee rubber sealing washers in there. This one came out with the sealing washer attached, and this one's, the sealing washer is still inside. This one's off, and again this one's came off, the rubber insert is still in there. So now, there is basically nothing holding on the cam cover, but what I want to do is to take this wee side piece off as well. And I would do this before you take the cam cover off, and there's a good reason for that. So that's with that wee plate off. Now you can see there's the cam cover, there's nothing holding the cam cover off, it's free to come off, and I want to prise it off. Sometimes they're a wee bit tight. That's it. And just take the seal off it, let that still stay in place. That's it. So now that's the cam cover off. And I also want to remove this seal. Now if it's in good condition, because I did replace this the last time, it was a brand new one I put on. And I did a wee experiment, because when they come from the factory, you'll find that this section here, there's it's like a black silicone, and it's glued in there. You've got to kind of break it off. When I put it back on, when I did the tappets the last time, I did the camshaft, I thought it's not really needed. There's no pressure inside this part of the engine. Any oil that's circulating is going to drain down through where the chain goes. So there's nothing anywhere near that. So the chances of any oil leaking out of that is going to be highly unlikely. So I thought, I'm not going to put any sealant on. And sure enough, nothing ever came out of it. And even if you see it, you can see this oil on the inside, but in the outside of that edge, there's no oil at all, it's dry. So it's never leaked a drop. So it means you can also take this off and potentially reuse it again. And it also makes reassembly much easier, because you can attach this to the cam cover and then put it back in. If you try and put this in place and put the cover on, it's really awkward. So it's the inlet valve and the exhaust valve. But we want to be able to turn the engine over, and there's two ways you can do it. You can put it in gear and turn the back wheel, or you can remove this inspection plate here, and that's what we are going to do. So, yeah, I want to take this cover off. Just tight. And although there's oil in this casing, it's all below this level, so no oil's going to come out. And inside that hole, you'll find there's a big bolt. It looks like about a 17. Yeah, 17. And this allows you to rotate the engine. And again, you're coming up against a bit of compression there, so again, I'm just going to take the spark plug out. That's better. Out of the way. Bearing in mind it hasn't been running for a long time. So now if we put this socket in here, you can see you can now turn the engine over really easily. It's really free. And everything looks quite nice in there. And to get to top dead centre, what you really have to make sure is that wee hole on the top of the cam sprocket holder is facing the top. And that should mean then that both tappets valves are closed and both tappets valves are slack. And that is correct. I can make sure it's even more accurate. I have the special tool that was used for fitting the camshaft, and that just clips on the top, and this tool goes in, and then you just basically, because it's not actually quite in the right place, that's it now. So that's locked in place now. So basically that locks the camshaft in, and the cam can't turn. So if I try and rotate this now, it just won't move. The cam's locked in the correct position. This is the inlet valve, and that should be 0.08. So if I put the feeler gauge in, and it goes in, but it feels a bit slack. You should get a nice wee kind of drag on that. It's not bad. Let's see what it actually is for the next size up. That's going in, so that's quite big. This is what the exhaust valve should be. And that's not going in, which is good. We'll try it on the exhaust side. It's almost going in, but actually it's not bad. That is perfect. Got just the right amount of drag on it, and that is 0.18 millimeters. So I'm not going to touch that. That is, the exhaust valve is perfect, but this one is a wee bit slack. So we're going to adjust this one a wee bit. 0.08, and again, putting this one in there, you can see it's really slack. So if I just go in and slacken the lock nut off, that's that. On the top there's a wee adjusting screw, which that's a wee bit, that's too tight. Let's slacken it off slightly. That feels nice at that. So let's hold it as best we can with your spanner. Let's tighten that up a bit. Let's see what that feels like. Again, it's a wee bitty slack. So let's just slacken it off slightly. Let's give it a wee. Yep, that's pretty good. Just tighten that up. It's roughly about 10 Newton meters, it's not a lot. What does that feel like? Yep, that's got a nice bit of drag in there, that's pretty damn good. 0.1, I don't know if there's a 0. Let's see if that will go in. No, that's not going in. That was going in easily. That's the 0.1. And that could go in no bother at all the last time. So that is much better. I've taken them out. So there's 0.08 and there's a 0.1. That's only the one size up. 0.08 goes in nicely. 0.1 won't go in. So that is spot on. If we go to the exhaust side, again it's 0.18 it should be. And that's going in quite nicely. It's got a nice bit of drag in it. That feels really good. And this is the next size up, 0.2, and that will not go in. So yeah, I'm happy with them. Remove those tools. That's actually the first time I've checked the valve clearances since I fitted the performance cam in here quite a while back, and it's done quite a lot of miles since then. And it's never moved. It's absolutely rock solid. Rock solid. That's tight. And that's tight. Yeah, I've got new seals, but I think I'll just use what's in there. I don't think I'll use them this time, because I do actually have brand new these rubber seals that I'm pretty sure you get away with just reusing them a couple of times. I'll replace them at the next change. I've got another new cam cover gaskets, which I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with that one. So this one's a case of just give this a wee clean up. And clean up in that groove in here where the seal goes. And give the seal a good clean as well. Make sure to get all the loose oil off it. To me, this is the secret, because normally what people will do, they'll fit this on top of the cylinder head, and then they'll try and fit the cam cover onto it, and it's really awkward. So basically, what we'll do is, this is the cam cover, this is the front of the bike, and you know it because there's two bolt holes that go at the cam's sprocket side and one single bolt at the spark plug side. And we know that this is where this basically goes in, and this gasket is formed to take that, and you can push that into that groove, and you know that it's in there. Doing it this way, and that is sitting in there pretty securely, so you can turn it upside down, it doesn't fall out. So the idea being then you'll push it in from this side, and it will just drop it right into position. And you won't have the trouble of trying to, because normally if you do it the opposite way, and with these flanges that come down, you can't quite see if that gasket has actually fitted properly or not. So that's my wee tip. Again, just making sure it's sitting in there, it's secure. See, it's not falling off. And if you'd left this wee side cover on, you'd have to try and jiggle it in place. So it's a case of sliding this over, so it doesn't touch anything, and just drop it into position. And it's as simple as that. And then put the 3 bolts in again. Again, checking, this one has still got the rubber seal, so just put the screw in. This one has a rubber seal, that's fine. This one, there's no rubber seal, but the rubber seal is still attached to the bolt here. you can get away with that a couple of times, I reckon, and then replace it maybe these seals every second time. So I can just screw all these right down so it's firm in. And again, just give these, I'll torque these to 10 Newton meters. It doesn't need any more than that. Can you get in? Yep. That's it. 10 Newton meters. Next piece is put this wee plate back in here. Give that a wee tighten, it doesn't need much. Don't over tighten it. And refit this inspection plate. And that's basically the tappet is finished. I've got a brand new spark plug I'm going to put in, and the gap should be between 0.7 and 0.8. That's a 0.7 that I'm going in, and that slips through nicely. That's a 0.75, and that doesn't really want to, it might just go through and no more. So that's perfect, 0.75. Again, stick a brand new spark plug in while we're here. Torque the plug up to 11 Newton meters. That's it. So that's the engine. Valve clearance is done. All we have to do now is to reassemble the ancillary components that we had here. So basically we'll cut that cable tie I put on. It goes through there, and this nut goes on. Okay, so that's that wee bit on. Again, this went in, and it went in this direction here because the spark plug came down on this side, and that all tucked that away, so that's away. The two earth wires are in the way. Let's get it into where it should be, which is around about there. That's the front screw hole. Get one of the 3 bolts in that held that in position. Let's get them started. That's it. That's it in. And the second one, again, there's 2 earth wires on these, so you've got to make sure that those go on, or some electrical components won't work. Get that one started, that's started. And the third one, again, it's got another electrical earth wire on there as well. So that's it. So that's the 3 bolts back in position. Give that a wee tighten up. So that's that one. another electrical connection on this side. This plugs into this wee unit down here. That's that one in, and the spark plug goes in. So now we've fitted all the electrical net connections back together again, and that plate, everything's ready for the tank to go back on now. Yeah, so we'll drop the bike back down and we'll stick the tank back on. We can see here the two pipes that are going to, the vacuum pipes that go on, they'll go on first because they're the most awkward bit to get to. The fuel line ready to go on, and the electrical connector as well. Back on, and you can see those rubber mountings up the front there, and they go into the correspond with the wee slots in the tank. So that slips in nicely. Give the tank a wee bit of protection at the front just in case you lift it up too far and it gets damaged. So again, what I want to do is to basically lift the tank up so I can basically feel your way inside, feel the two pipes and reattach them. It's a hard one to video, but that's one on. That's good, that's it. So that's those two pipes now on. Jack this up a wee bit at the back so we can see, and try and get a bit of light in there so you can see what I'm doing as well. Hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to connect this pipe on. So again, it's a case of just pushing it on. And make sure it clicks in though. When you put it over the spigot, push it in. If it doesn't click, you've not got it in. Yeah, you've heard a nice solid clunk. So that, yeah, that's it in. And there you can see it is fully seated home. It's right in. So that's the fuel line on. The last bit to put on is the electrical connector. Nice. And it should just push up and snap in. That's it. It clicked. Had it clicking in. Just to basically remove that and drop the tank back down. Stick the bolt through. Make sure it lines up. That's it. And the nut on the end. Tighten that bolt up. So that's the tank back on. So there we have it. That's how to basically remove the tank and do the valve clearances. In theory, the bike should restart again. Nice, that one. That's it. Perfect. Now that's the first time it's started for quite a long time, to be honest, so that's pretty good. And there was no warning light came on because I thought potentially disconnecting the plug from the tank, the pump, that the ECU would realise that that was missing from the system and it would show a fault, but the fault light hasn't come on. Obviously the bike was never running in that position, so yeah, so that was fine. But even if the fault light had came on, if you've got a meter you can reset the faults because you can know what it was. Or they just run the bike 2 or 3 different starts, start and stops, and eventually that will just disappear of its own right. But yeah, so that's another wee job from the garage. That's all I'm going to do for this video today. I hope you found it interesting. It's awkward. I've been trying to play around with the new cameras and see if I can get some better quality pictures for you, but it's really awkward trying to work on the bike with the cameras as well. It's difficult. It takes a long time to do a wee simple job when you try to film. But anyway, I'll see what I can get from this one. Hopefully it'll be worth watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for viewing. Bye for now.